Hello everyone, welcome to a 3D scanning tutorial. So today we're going through the scan engine and we already have this preloaded up. This is our emo girl. We're now selecting the area that we want the scanner to focus on. We'll just trim off everything we don't need. Divisions, we're going to do 14 divisions. We can make it actually down to 12. That's just how many scans it'll do, and then it'll put it all together for us. So let's go ahead and start this and kick it off. So we're going to let the scanner run through, and you can watch this little time lapse of the GoPro recording our scan. This is it in action. This is only a few of the scans as well, so this isn't all 12 of them. But I don't want to bore you guys with this scanning process, but you guys can now see how it's done. I used the box in the background just because it cut down some of the reflectivity that was coming from the wall gloss. Sorry about the blinding light on the left, the sun was coming through a bit. But once it goes through and scans all these together, it'll then import them into our scan engine software, where we can do some finishing touches and get ready for it to be exported. Okay, so here we are, and we're back. We now have all of our scans put together, and this is what our model looks like. If we wanted to align it, we could, but this model actually came off of the scans, all of the pieces all put together pretty well, so I don't really think that we're going to need to align it. But if we want to, this is where we'd go. We can then push those individual scan pieces together to get the best fit, and then we can go ahead and meld it all together. But we could also go to trim. So sometimes the trim, sometimes when we're scanning, the scanner will pick up stuff like on the base that we don't want, like the stuff around the bottom of the feet. We might want to trim some of that off. The scan actually was pretty clean. It didn't grab that much of the base. So that was really fortunate for us. But those bottom pieces underneath the shoes, we might want to just clip those off. So we can go ahead and just highlight those areas that we want. So we're going to use this polygon draw tool. I can just click, and as I click, it will create this shape based off of each click point. I just need to bring it back around and reconnect it, and then I can go ahead and trim off the parts I don't want. Oh, it didn't actually connect. Hang on one second. There we go. Okay, so now we can go ahead and trim those off, and it just pulls that piece of the polygons off. So that's good. Let's go ahead and go back. Now we can go to fuse, and this will take all the shells from each scan and fuse them together into one object. So let's go ahead and run our fuse, and it'll just take a second for it to go through this process. And once it's done, it'll combine all those shells down to one object. Okay. And almost done. There we go. Okay. Now we can go ahead and go back. And I really like the way that the scan process is set up, because each thing you need to do is kind of set up in order. So the next thing we want to do is polish. And if we want to fill holes, we could fill holes, but all we're going to do this time is just going to buff it, because I think that we did a pretty good job on scanning. So there it is with a buff on it. So that just basically goes through and roughs off any of the scan artifacts. It just makes it to where it's good to go. And we'll just go ahead and run the buff. Sometimes if you buff a little bit too much, it can make it to where it looks kind of bulgy and you lose some of your details. So we're going to try to keep it kind of low. Okay, and just waiting for it to finish on this part here. There we go. So it's done with the buff process. Go ahead and go back again. So if we want to go to our last process, which is the output, if we wanted to do an STL or a 3 object, we can go ahead and use these two, but we just want an OBJ because we're going to be going to Maya. So we're going to go ahead and set this one to the desktop, and we'll just go ahead and name this one Emo Girl Sloth, because that's what the artist who created the sculpt called it. So just go ahead and save that. Okay. And then it goes ahead and it's done. So now we can go ahead and pick this up inside of Maya. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys in Maya.